Hey everybody, welcome back to my kitchen. And as you can see, I have Grandma Jean's recipe box out here. I love going through this and doing her recipes. So today I pulled out her fresh apple cake. So I've got my apples. I'm going to try to make this as good as she did. I always hate doing her recipes because I feel like I'm not doing them justice. But in this bowl, let's see, I got 3 cups of flour, all-purpose flour, and then a teaspoon and a half of baking soda that I've already put in here. You'll whisk and bring these together. And then I've also got a tablespoon of cinnamon, a teaspoon of salt, and a 1/4 teaspoon of allspice. Now, a lot of people think allspice is like all your fall spices put together. It is not. It's an allspice. It's an actual berry, allspice plant. So don't get that confused. A lot of people think that's the same. So I'm gonna put those in. And then it says a teaspoon of nutmeg. Now, if you guys know me, I don't buy nutmeg because many studies have shown that most of it is sawdust in there. So I have my little nutmegs in here. So I'm gonna put grind up about a teaspoon of nutmeg in here. And when you do this, it smells so good. Whoa, there it goes. I lost my nutmeg. It tastes so much better, it's so much fresher. You'll be able to tell the difference. Okay, just a little bit more. I love that smell. All right, those in up. So that's my dry ingredients. Let me put this over here. And I'm just going to bring the dry ingredients together because we're going to mix that into the wet here in a second. I just want those real well combined. Okay, let's switch bowls. In this bowl, we have 1 and I believe it's a 1/3 cup. Yes. Make sure. Oil, 1 1/4 cup. I'm holding unlevel. So we got a 1 1/4 cups of oil. You can use vegetable, canola. You could use coconut oil for this, I guess. That would be good too. Get this over here. And we're going to mix in the 2 cups of sugar. Let's just use a spoon so we can bring it all together here in a minute. She says just bring the sugar and oil together to dissolve. There we go. That's pretty good. And then next, she says add the 2 eggs. These are my farm fresh eggs from North Carolina. I just got back from a trip up to North Carolina and Tennessee. And these are from my friend's chickens. That looks good. Fresh, bright orange yolks. Another beauty. Okay. Rinse my hands off. I swear the flavor of these eggs, when I was up there, we'd have breakfast, go out and get fresh eggs from the barn, and they just taste so much better. I was eating duck eggs, and their duck eggs actually taste like they had sugar in them. They were sweet. They were delicious. Okay, got that incorporated. Now I'm going to put in the dry ingredients. So what she says to have next, sat in, I just want to make sure I do this right. Okay. Just put in about half the dry ingredients. I've only made this one other time. It tasted good. It wasn't as good as Grandma's, but I don't think any recipe is ever as good as Grandma's. I just try my best. Between Mom and Grandma, I have no chance of getting them as good as they do. Okay. Now this will be a thick batter. There we go. I'm gonna put in the rest of the dry. Okay. All right, let's get this finished mixed together. Come together real thick. There we go. Now I've got a cup of pecans. Grandma's recipe calls for walnuts, but I don't have any walnuts. So, and I love pecans. So I'm gonna put about a cup of crushed pecans in here. She says a cup of coconut. So let me get my coconut, do about a cup of that. That looks good. And 2 teaspoons of vanilla. 1, 2. And our apples. Let me get the apples out. Let me get my little strainer here. I've got the apples. I cut them up, but I put them in lemon juice just so they keep their color. I chopped them about 1/2-inch dice. Get all these out. Drain as much water off as possible. Hey, got them all. Get rid of this lemon juice. And now, get that away, bring the rest of this together. I would use my KitchenAid, but I find it crushes up my apples too much and the ones that are jumping out. So I usually do this by hand. And as you can see, it's a very, very thick batter. And by the way, that was 3 cups of apples. It's in Grandma's recipe. Yes, 3 cups. So my Grandma Jean could make anything. She raised 6 boys on a farm in Wapakoneta, Ohio. And she cooked 3 meals a day. And I promise you, at least every dinner, there was a dessert that she made with dinner. You always had cakes, pies, crumbles, apple brown Betty. That's one that I think I'm going to do, is an apple brown Betty. Because a lot of you probably have never heard of it. And it's delicious. It's kind of like the precursor of apple crisp or apple dumplings. But it has no oatmeal, anything like that in it. Okay, so let me get the pan prepared. I'm just going to spray it down. And this has flour in the spray. I remember Grandma used to oil her pans and then put flour in them and toss it around. We're spoiled. We have it all prepared for us. Okay, now we're going to need to make sure you get this spread out pretty evenly, because as you can see, it's very thick. Don't want to waste any of that. Not so easy to get out with one hand. So what's nice about the KitchenAid mixer, it's got a handle that we can use. Get a spoon to help myself out. How did that one get in there? Now, if you don't like coconut, you can leave the coconut out. I made it one time without coconut because somebody I knew didn't like it, which I couldn't understand because I love coconut. You can change the nuts, put it like Grandma did, walnuts, or I did pecans. Any kind of nut. You can even leave the nuts out if you have nut allergies. Get that out of the way. All right. So that's in there pretty good. I'm going to use the spoon. I need a real spoon. This one's not getting it. Now I'm just going to even this out around the pan. And I will put the recipe down below with all the ingredients if I went too fast or you missed something. That way you didn't have to write it down. And this is one of my favorite Thanksgiving cakes. I did update my website, gregs-kitchen.com. It's all Thanksgiving now. Front page has a list for Thanksgiving recipes. There's a little button on the right that says Happy Thanksgiving, I believe. Click on it and it'll give you everything from appetizers, desserts, main courses, cookies. It is all individually put into sections so you can find what you like. So give that a look. Not all of them have video recipes. I'm working on it. So now I'm going to put this in the oven for about 60 to 65 minutes. It's at 325. I'll check it about 55 minutes just to see how it's doing, and I'll be back. Okay, y'all, we're back. I took the cake out. It was in the oven probably about 75 minutes. My oven's been cooking low and slow for some reason. So I took it out. I let it sit here for about 15 minutes because I wanted it to cool a little bit in the pan. And now I'm going to flip it over on this and hopefully it's going to come out good. Oh. Perfect. I guess I could have centered that a little bit better. There we go. So here is our apple coconut pecan cake. Grandma had walnuts. I used pecans. I'm going to get a small slice out here. Hope it's not too warm to cut. Just use this. I know it's a little large, but hey, it's thin. I know it's large, but hey, it's for me. I want a big piece. That's good. Wow. Grab a fork. You can see the chunks of apple, the pecans, everything in there. This looks delicious. Just like I remember Grandma's. So warm. That's delicious. This tastes like fall. So give my Grandma's apple cake recipe a try. I'll put the ingredients, all the directions down below in the description. Also on my website, gregs-kitchen.com, so you can print it out. Again, thank you for joining me in my kitchen. Please give this video a thumbs up. It helps our channel a lot. And if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. And remember, my website's all updated now for Thanksgiving. So for any Thanksgiving recipe you might need, you're going to find it there. So I'll talk to you again soon and have a great day. Bye-bye.